Welcome back.
I'm Jeremy.
And I'm Dave.
You're listening to Daily Gains 90.
Let's get going. James 1:10, and the rich in his humiliation, because like a flower of the grass, he will pass away.
So based on what we read this morning and what we've just read now this afternoon, there's a flip-flopping here.
Mm-hmm.
Let the low brother rejoice in his exaltation. Let the rich brother glory in his
Humiliation.
That's
right.
A strong word, right?
Oh, it's a very
That's
strong
a strong word. Were you humiliated this morning? Well, I mean, I try to walk in humility. I don't really want to be humiliated. I definitely don't want to be in humiliation. Those are kind of strengthening words, if you will.
Mm.
And yet, James says, okay, but check this. Here's what God's doing. God will cause your humiliation for your glory. James, how can you say that? Well, because I once knew this guy from Galilee. I think they called him Jesus. I called him Bubba. Turns out he was God. Turns out he was also really good at working with wood and working with stone with my dad. And he was also pretty good at throwing punches. I can tell you that for sure because I received some. He took some punches too. I'm not going to say he didn't. Older brother, that's the way it goes. But apparently he was God. And and then he was crucified like a criminal. And he saw this and he described this as a humiliation. So if his father, whom we call God, was willing to cause his son's humiliation in order that from that humiliation, a glory can come, then I can say here very definitely, you rich man, glory and exalt in your humiliation. Because that's how God works in you. And that's going to test some faith, right?
Mm.
Maybe we're talking to the wrong crowd. Maybe we're talking to the lowly. This is just encouraging.
So, kind of going back to yesterday's a little bit, but still sticking with today's. There is, and we talked about this from the other verses, there is a desire to draw close to God when you're going through tough things.
Mm-hmm.
That is more evident than when things are well. And so when you look at Jesus sharing the story of the rich person in hell asking for his brothers to be informed about where he is so that they might not be there. It is clear that all of them have the same opportunity to know him. And yet it's easier for the lowly to know him and exalt in him than it is for the rich person. And so the challenge for me is it worth it, to be honest? That humiliation part.
Yeah, but that's the grace he gives.
Oh,
that's the grace he's given. Because it's harder for the rich, the humiliation from God makes it so that rich person who's going to have a harder time walking in a relationship with God will have an easier time walking in a relationship with God.
I would say, like the rich young ruler, can you give it up so that you can know him better? And that is my challenge. Can I live a life of less so that he can have a life of more through me? It's not going to write a bigger check, but can I let it go? Yeah. That's the challenge.
Words. Challenging words. So here you are, dear brother, dear sister. We have made it to the end of week 1 of Daily Gains 90, season 4. Well done. Well done. Here's my challenge to you. Okay. This is over the weekend. This is a call to action. I want you to reach out to one person, one friend.
Please.
Ask them.
Is that the same person or two different people?
I want you to do one person. So, choose one
person, one friend. No,
whatever.
That's not two people.
Okay. I'll let them make that call. I trust them. Reach out to that person. Ask them. Tell them about the podcast here. This thing that we're doing. Ask them to join you in this. Ask them to be your partner as we go through this, so that they're now going to start. This is what you tell them. I want you to start listening to this. It's in the morning, in the afternoon. It's going to take about 3 minutes. And I want us to talk once a day, maybe by text, maybe by phone, whatever. Maybe we live in the same house and we just talk over, whatever. Let's talk about it. What are you hearing? What am I hearing? What's God speaking to us? How can I encourage you? That's the call to action. Do that. Drop us a line. Comment on the YouTube. Let us know that you're doing this. Bring someone along. We'll see you next week. Have a great weekend.